Music
Alright.
this session's also really good. You good?
I am recording.
Alright. Feel like you in the music now after you refresh?
Yeah. I'm good.
Okay. Alright. The world ended. Reality
Music
tore
this
at
session.
its seams. Continents dissolving into ash and echo as stars smeared across a collapsing sky. Oceans boiled into memory. Mountains ground themselves into dust. Time folded inward, laws unraveled, and meaning itself was dragged beneath a cosmic undertow. And yet, when the storm passed, something remained. The ink thinned, silence followed. The world lay scarred but waiting, primed for new shapes, new choices, and the first breath of something that had never been before. At the edge of that reborn dawn, Malachar stood before a desert temple in the thumb of Eastus, called forth by Elder Sharesh Almir. There, beneath rising light, he was entrusted with three spirits. Ishar Velun, the desert wanderer who remembers paths no longer drawn. Serethiel of the veiled eye, the truth seeker who often questions instead of comfort. And Alabaster Fosni, a restless soul unfinished for 7 centuries. Armed with talismans and a windswept sand skimmer, Malachar departed not as an exile, but as pilgrim, sent into the fist of Eastus to meet what waited beyond the dunes. Elsewhere, Oral awoke from dreams of falling cities, radiant dragons, and a tower beneath a broken sky. Fragments of a life he no longer fully remembers. Grounded by his wife Seraphina's steady presence, he left Ebonstone beneath cold northern light, saying farewell to his children before boarding the Seven Swell for its maiden voyage. At the same time, deep beneath ancient sandstone, Tariq clawed their way through darkness and sand to emerge into a resplendent desert sunset. Stars igniting overhead, meteors carving the heavens, and the crystal spire calling them forward. 3 paths, reborn in a world remade, now converge toward Luxor. Light gathers before it reveals its source. At first, there is only shade and scent. Cool marble holding the day at bay. Greenery breathing softly into the air. The smell of white roses drifts through the space, clean and bright, carrying a quiet reassurance that settles somewhere behind the ribs. A breeze passes through unseen arches, stirring leaves and petals alike, brushing skin with the faintest chill, as though inviting stillness rather than demanding it. Marble columns emerge next, pale and smooth, rising in calm symmetry. Between them, shallow marble steps descend, each one flanked by dense growth of white roses spilling gently over their borders. Petals fall in unhurried patterns, collecting on the stone like deliberate brushstrokes. The sound of the outside world dulls here, softened into something distant and unimportant, replaced by the hush of leaves shifting and the subtle creak of living wood. Beyond the steps, the garden opens fully. Light pours down through glass and foliage, breaking into warm gold and soft green as it filters across winding paths and carefully tended beds. Plants grow in graceful abundance, guided but never restrained. Vines trail where they will, blossoms cluster in quiet conversation. And the air feels thick with patience, as though this place rewards those who take the time to notice it. Time itself seems to slow. At the garden's heart rests a bench, simple and well-worn, positioned to face growth rather than grandeur. Nearby, bent over a flower bed, a solitary figure works in silence. Hands steady, posture relaxed. Someone wholly at ease in this sanctuary, absorbed in the quiet labor of care. Odin, would you like to describe your character and what you're working on?
I think in the moment, Odin is sat on his bench where he normally sits when he retreats to this place. And I think he spread out before him on the ground are a bunch of baskets filled with white roses, and he's sort of sorting through some of them, putting aside the pristine ones and setting back the not so pristine ones. He's sort of organizing them to his liking, I suppose. But he sort of loses himself for a second, like he kind of, there's a 1,000-yard stare for a moment, and it's almost like he's not there. And then he gasps and sort of comes back into himself, into the space, and into what's going on around him, and his fist is clenched, and he looks down, and he opens up his hand, and there's a crushed white rose that he didn't mean to destroy, and he doesn't understand why he did it, or where his mind went to. He's just something happened, and it caused him to seize up, and he crushed one of his roses.
Okay. You feel uneasy for more than just this moment. It seems to linger in the air, and then the air shifts without warning. Not a breeze, this is not weather. The leaves do not rustle, nor do the flowers bow. Instead, the wind arrives, fully forms, pressing inward as if the space itself has been opened somewhere else and allowed to spill through. It carries no cold, no heat, only weights.
Odin will look up and look around, shiver.
The scent of roses thins, replaced by impressions that don't belong here. Smoke without fire, salt without sea, iron without blood. The light wavers. The wind coils closer, threading around you, through you, and with it comes whispers, soft, overlapping, intimate, fragments of laughter and unfamiliar tongues, the echo of footsteps on stone streets you've never walked, a hand on your shoulder you do not recognize, heavy with trust. Faces flicker at the edge of thought, places half remembered that you know you've never seen, and yet they ache with the certainty of memory. Your body reacts before your mind can. Please give me a wisdom saving throw. Oof, okay. Your hands tremble, muscles tightening involuntarily, a shudder rolling upon your spine as if your body is trying to brace against something it cannot see. Your breath stutters and then catches entirely as the whispers crescendo, layering faster, closer, until they blur into a single presence pressing against your thoughts.
I'm just going to try to take a deep breath to steady himself.
As you steady yourself, you feel a sudden clarity, as if this sea of voices that's surrounding and swirling around you like the winds collapses into the voice of a single young man that cuts through the noise. A voice that you're certain you should recognize. Whatever happens next, remember this. The wind seems to hold its breath, the light in the garden trapped in a stasis as if the shadows are unmoving, the light captured in time. We mattered, even if the world forgets, even if no one is left to remember it all. Give me another wisdom saving throw. An image of a round table flashes into your mind. Ghostly figures sat around it, all looking at you, waiting for you to answer their call. A somber man with a weak smile looks at you. Your vision swims. The voice continues. We existed. Your muscles seize for a heartbeat, your fingers curling, your jaw clenching as a wave of sensation passes through you. Grief, warmth, defiance, too large to belong to a single life, pass over you. And the voice continues. And for a time, we were alive. Give me a Constitution saving throw. That is a failure as well.
You're dead.
The force passes as abruptly as it came. The whispers unravel into silence. The wind collapses inward and is gone, leaving the garden eerily still. Leaves unmoving, petals suspended mid-fall for just a fraction of a second too long before gravity returns. You're left shaking, breath ragged, heart pounding against your ribs. You feel a sea of emotions vying for your attention, but central to them is loss. Unimaginable, unbearable loss.
I think his eyes have welled up, obviously. I think there's probably a slight sheen of sweat on him, and he'll look down at the crushed rose in his palm and curl his fingers back up around it again and squeeze.
The roses smell the same as they did before. The sun shines on just as true. But you are shaken to your core. He is already standing there when this happens. At the edge of the garden, where light thins and marble cools into shadow, a tall figure watches as the episode takes hold. He does not react when the wind bends unnaturally around you. He does not shift when the convulsions begin. When breath turns sharp, sorry to adjust the volume here, and uncontrolled, his presence is absolute and unmoving, as if he had been placed there long before this moment and would remain long after it ends. The figure's form is unmistakably constructed, yet disturbingly refined. His frame is built of interlocking plates, heavy and intentional, marbled throughout with swirling veins of deep cerulean and molten gold. The patterns resemble stormstone, chaotic, beautiful, and trapped beneath the surface, giving the impression that motion has been arrested just before violence. Light glances off his chassis in unpredictable ways, as though it cannot quite decide how to behave against him. Most unsettling is his face. It is a smooth, unbroken expanse of metal. No mouth, no nose, no suggestion of expression. Only at the brow, where golden veins converge, do two brilliant orbs of light burn outward from within the metal itself. They do not flicker, they do not blink. They track Odin's every movement with perfect clarity, observing the trembling limbs and ragged breaths with a precision that feels clinical rather than compassionate. He does not step forward. He does not turn away. He simply watches, silent, balanced, and unreadable, while something profoundly human fractures in front of him. And now, as the garden settles into uneasy stillness, this Odin is when you notice him. Peter, what is happening inside your mind as you witness this?
I guess he hasn't encountered a lot of human reactions and emotions from the moment he woke up. He watches as it was like you're watching a movie, like experiencing something for the first time, and like almost recording everything he sees in his mind. Humans enjoying their hobbies, picking up flowers, killing them for their own pleasure. But the moment like everything shifts with Odin, his gaze is focused on his head movement mostly, not his hands. He's trying to see his eyes. He doesn't get close, but he's trying to see eye movements even behind the eyelids. Yeah. He's deeply in focus on his face.
As you stand there watching Odin, something inside you stirs. Long before your thoughts, before interpretation. It is not sound or sight that reaches you first, but pressure. A pressure that you were never meant to ignore. A pressure you were designed to feel. When the wind enters the garden, it does not merely move air. It arrives bearing a weight, an immeasurable accumulation that presses against you from all directions at once. It feels like standing at the edge of an unseen procession, stretching beyond the limits of comprehension. Countless impressions overlap and blur together. Endings without names, lives without faces, moments stripped of context yet heavy with finality. The sheer mass of it is staggering. It's not pain exactly, but it's close. It is the terror of scale, of realizing how small any single existence truly is when placed beside the whole. And at the center of this all is Odin. You feel his soul the way one feels the structure under strain, not whole, not clean. It's fractured and uneven, bearing old breaks that never fully healed. Where others might feel a singular presence, you sense fault lines, seams that have been stressed too often and too severely. When the wind settles upon him, it does not merely touch those fractures, it forces them open. The pressure bears down, relentless, uncaring, as if the weight of all that has ever ended is demanding space within him. For a moment, an unbearable moment, it feels like witnessing the world collapse inward. Not in fire or ruin, but in meaning. As if something vast and foundational is failing, and there's no language adequate to explain it. Only the certainty that this is too much, that no single soul was meant to hold this. And when the wind leaves, the absence is almost worse. What remains within Odin is no longer simply fractured. Something has given way. His soul feels cracked like an egg split at its rim, still containing life but forever altered by the break. Fragile, exposed, poised on the edge of something irreversible. This is a man standing at a precipice. You know, with unsettling clarity, that he cannot bear the full weight of what is coming. Not without change, not without consequence. Whether he steps forward, falls, or is pushed, the shape of what remains will never be the same. This is what you see in Odin.
As those changes happen, I'm focusing on his head, and I around his like almost like his face. I see before everything happened. I always see like a purple faint glow around his face. But now that everything happened, that glow was immense and flickering at the same time. And he got startled because the one moment he was trying to see his eye movement, and then just the glow, nothing else. And he, without even knowing, took like a step forward. I don't know if he wanted to help or something, but he couldn't just stay still. His hand, like from his, he has both hands on his chest. One hand, like always extended towards him, and then fell down. And then after everything settled and that wind like stopped, the glow is still immense, but not like before. But the flicker is there, not on and off constantly like before, but it's still there happening. And yeah, it takes like a couple of steps and rests there until they require his assistance.
All right. Odin, as you're sort of barely, I imagine you've collapsed at this point. You notice now Peter's standing. It looks like he's mid-walk coming towards you, but he's stopped himself. And that's when you notice him.
Yeah, Odin will have, his knees would have given out from beneath him, but he wouldn't fall to the ground. He'd fall back onto the bench behind him. And just like tears are falling from his eyes to the ground, scattering across the roses at his feet. And his right hand would open and just let the crushed one drop out of it. As soon as he's noticed someone or something find him in this moment of weakness, he'll look up and quickly try to compose himself, trying to wipe away his face and make himself presentable again. And take a breath before trying to stand back up.
Hey, give me a Constitution save. Yeah, with a 23, you manage to steady yourself. You compose yourself, you manage to stand. Whether you choose to call on Peter for help or not, you manage to steady yourself.
He'll look over and he'll just say, well, let me ask beforehand, would I have expected him to be there? Would I have been awaiting his arrival, or is his arrival a surprise?
His arrival is something of a surprise.
Okay, thinking I was alone beforehand, I'll you know how it is when you see someone, you catch someone who thinks they're alone having a moment, a very vulnerable moment, and they try to compose themselves, and he'll like look over and be like, "Can I help you, Peter?" And wiping away his eyes, his face.
Sir Odin, I didn't mean to disturb you.
You're fine. What are you doing here? He looks around his personal garden.
Your own father gave me permission to visit the gardens when no one is around, but I didn't expect anyone at this time. I'm sorry to disturb you.
It's fine. Was there something that you needed?
No. Do you need help? Do you need assistance?
Long pause right there. And then he shakes his head.
Should I call someone? Do you need some water, maybe? You look distressed.
And he looks back down at the crushed rose on the ground. A glass of water would be appreciated, thank you.
I'll be right back.
As Peter steps out, Odin, do you gather yourself, or is there anything running through your mind that you want to share here?
He kind of just... There's an unimaginable sadness, I think. And he kind of sits in that for a second. And among all the voices that he heard, he tries to listen for voices he can recognize, voices he cares about.
You hear Emmeline She calls out to you.
Do I hear what she said? Or says?
She says, "Brother, I'm scared. But the Tomos will see us through this, I'm sure."
And he's just, I think at this point, he's gonna take as much time alone since Peter has left. He's just numb, and he's just gonna sit in that numbness for a second while Peter's gone to get a glass of water. However long that is, whether Peter's back or not, when he comes out of that numbness, he'll start gathering the baskets of roses just to busy himself.
Alright. Peter, when you return, you've also received new orders. You're to pass a message along to Odin. He is needed for another meeting with one of the counselors in 30 minutes.
I approach Odin and with a glass of wine. Whoa!
I mean,
with
listen,
a glass of...
listen. He won't say no, okay? If Peter thinks wine's better than water in this instant, I think he's keying into the human experience a little bit sooner than he realized.
Like, I got you, man. I know exactly what humans need in this situation.
I have seen the men at the bar drink this. It seems to make them happy.
Well, his voice is not like that static. It's mostly echoey because it comes from inside a metal cell.
What was
Bro,
that like?
you had a voice changer on, and then you turned it off. You should set
Yeah,
that
I
back
did.
on.
The problem is, and we talked about this before session, it will work for like important lines, but if he's not very careful with the enunciation of his words, it will be very difficult to understand.
Yeah.
So
I
it'll
can
come
try
back
it again.
Yeah, I mean, we can bring it back for like key moments for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I return with a glass of water, and I told him, there you go, the glass you required, and I need to pass the message along. You have another meeting with the counselor in 30 minutes.
I think Odin's eyes just close and his brows knit, and he just like lets go of a sigh, almost like browbeaten by such a simple revelation, something so mundane, trailing something so not mundane. It just nods, acquiescing to the fact that he'll have to go.
And as I gave him the glass of water and the message, I stand next to the bench, but looking straight ahead, not at the bench, almost like a god next to the bench, and I'll wait for him to stand up and leave.
Okay.
Can we get a I don't know if you're holding back, but can we get a fuck, why does the word escape me? Can we get his character art in the
He
in the
posted
report?
in MM art. I didn't know which one to post
Handout.
because he commissioned.
Yeah.
Handout is the word I was looking for.
I will. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add a handout for you guys to add PC stuff. So let me do this now and let everybody make their own handouts.
The only reason I ask is because none of the art in Discord is loading for me for whatever reason.
Oh, okay.
That's fine. I can give you guys some handouts. I'll give everybody 3 handouts so you can edit those and put whatever you want on them. So
there we go. It's loaded now.
this one will be Pulse. This one for Peter. Either way, I'll get these set up for you guys. How about that music, though?
Very good.
It's a good.
Much drama.
He's good.
Oh, this art is sick.
Spooky.
Looks like you stepped right out of Destiny.
You guys
I love-
don't forget to change your notes.
Representing the fucking Cardinal colors, my brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. I told my friend to make him French.
Excellent.
All right, that's just one. That's just one each for now. I'll add more during mid session, so you guys have a variety of arts for your characters you can share. All right. Let's see. I need this and that. Let's see.
Before Odin will down the glass of water and collect himself, and gathering the baskets of the roses he's harvested, he'll stand up and walk out, presumably with the knowledge that Peter's following him.
Okay. All right. Much later that same day, as evening gathers and the last light stretches thin across the estate, the weight of what is coming settles into sharper focus. In 3 days' time, Odin is to depart for Luxor, the capital of Eberron, where he will stand before nobility and crown alike to be formally recognized as the heir to the dukedom of Cartano. It is not merely ceremony, it is declaration, an alignment of expectations made public and irrevocable. The estate hums with preparations, tailors adjusting formal attire, stewards finalizing travel manifests, correspondences sealed and dispatched. Throughout the afternoon, Odin has met with members of his house, advisors, captains, clerks, each discussion precise, forward-looking, carefully controlled. Alliances are reviewed, appearances rehearsed, contingencies outlined. If any tremor from earlier remains, it has been folded beneath discipline. Now, as the sun crests towards evening, Odin steps into the greenhouse proper. Share that artwork. Into the one place on the estate that feels removed from political gravity. The air is warm and humid, thick with the scent of growing things. Golden light filters through the glass above, refracting softly across leaves and stone. At the far end of the space, near one of the raised beds, a small figure kneels in absorbed concentration. Let me grab that. Sophia, newly adopted into the Cartano household and apprenticed in service, is not attending to duty at this moment. Instead, she is playing, hands cupped gently around a white lily, turning it in the fading light as though studying something precious. Her laughter is quiet but unguarded, a sound untouched by expectation or inheritance. When she notices you, Odin, she brightens immediately. "Look what I found," she says, holding the lily up towards you. I know the flower's not actually a lily, but as if presenting something rare and important.
And smiles as he approaches, corner of his lip smirking, and he looks down to inspect the flower she holds up to him. My, that is quite beautiful, Sophia.
She smiles and says, "They're not as pretty as your roses, but I hope to build a garden just as wonderful for everyone to see."
He just reaches down and pats her head gently.
She blushes, her face full of color. She looks happy to be recognized and to be seen by you. And then she shakes her head for a second, and then she jumps up and realizes, "Oh, I'm sorry, Lord Odin." And she does a curtsy, and she says, "I forgot to introduce myself again." She again sort of blushes and like looks like she's still trying to figure out how this whole maid thing works.
You're fine, Sophia. It's no trouble. Are you attending Ava?
Not right now, no. I'm still well. Um, and she sort of fidgets for a moment. I will be before long. I'll be training up beside her, just like Hammond was with you. And she smiles.
Nods. Enjoy your leisure time, Sophia.
And she smiles, and as you turn your attention, Sophia turns hers as well. She looks past you, her bright eyes drifting towards the silent, towering figure of Peter standing nearby. She begins to walk towards you, Peter.
I stand on the rocks that create the pavement, the road, because he doesn't want to step on the garden. And as I see her coming closer, I tell her, "Miss Sophia, next time do not cut so many flowers, because if you continue like that, you won't have a garden after all."
She nods and says, "Yes, I'll be sure only to..." And she thinks for a second. "I will plant more than I cut, of course. I was simply pruning the bad ones.
Mhm.
This one is good though. It's beautiful." And she reaches towards you, and she goes to hand it to you. "I think you need this more than I do." And she says that with like an absolute certainty. She looks at you, and she looks at your metal chassis and decides that this flower belongs in your lapel.
My hands are behind my back, and I lower my head as it gets closer. And it's good to cut a good one every once in a while, so you can spread its beauty. And my hand, like, like almost like a robot, like reaches in front of me, and I kneel down to one knee, and I open my hand.
Okay. She will place it gently into your metallic palm.
Smart. My hand would destroy. Smart.
As you look down upon Sophia, you see that her soul burns bright and steady. She has a vibrancy, a resiliency. Her soul hums with life, not yet weighed down by regrets. It is a clean flame. It is motion, it is possibility, and there is strength there.
The color that I'm seeing is a bright yellow almost like the daisy's core. That's it. Just general information.
Okay. All right.
Odin is
And-
just off to the side, his arms crossed, appreciating this display.
And once he placed the flower into my lapel, I stand up and I do. Did you pat her head, or was it so?
I
Did
like,
you-
yeah, I did. I patted her head.
I do the same, but I do not touch her, like almost like a air gesture, because I don't want to hurt her. Like I softly try my hardest to, reach the like with its speed, but the moment I approach the head, I slow down and do that 2 times, and then I place my hand behind my back again.
The second time, when you don't quite touch her head, she stands on her tiptoes and touches your hand. And she
I see
smiles.
you grow. I see you growing taller.
She smiles. Well, I'll be 5 next week. I've got to get big.
You're older than me. You will reach me in no time.
She chuckles at that, like not sure what to make of that, but she smiles and says, "Yes, I am the oldest." And she looks really excited about that.
And I turn to Odin and I say, "Shall proceed?"
Odin will nod, and but as Peter leaves, he'll linger behind and he'll look to Sophia and he'll say, "If you need anything, Sophia, you come to me."
She smiles and nods. Thank you, Odin. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, for a second I thought she was imitating the way Peter spoke. You said that kind of robotically. But yeah, he nods. He actually will probably go in to give her a little hug, and then leave her to her playing. Is there anyone around here minding the 4-year-old? Is she by herself here?
There's like another maid nearby. Like she is a maid in training, and so she's playing at the moment. She's got free time, and there's like a maid maybe like has brought out a laundry basket and is hanging out some clothes on like some lines to dry.
Okay. We'll leave with Peter.
Yeah. As you step away, you notice a figure is sort of stood on the path waiting for the two of you. Hammond steps into the greenhouse and pauses before approaching. You see he is broad-shouldered and impeccably dressed for service, but built for something harder. The sword rests at his hip, not as ornament, but as habit. His posture is upright, without stiffness, his movements economical, deliberate. There is valor in him, but it has been tampered into practicality, strength shaped by discipline rather than pride. Though born in the lands of Moreau, long at odds with Cartano, his loyalty is unquestionable, structural rather than sentimental. He stands as Odin's right hand and quiet anchor, as steady as stone. My lord, there are 2 personal guests awaiting you at the chapel.
Very well.
And
He'll gesture for Hammond to lead.
he turns, and you see a smile appear on his face as he turns to like lead the way. They have requested anonymity from the staff.
Odin's
But
eyes narrow at that.
But I believe you will be quite pleased to see them both, he says, with an air of reassurance in his voice.
Hate the games.
Give me like either a wisdom or an intelligence, just a straight wisdom or intelligence. You could also give me a history. History might work here. With a 15, yeah, 15's good, the wisdom. He says no more. He does not need to. Based on their chosen meeting place, it could only be those two.
Odin Odin tries to hold back it's not difficult either with the day that he's had so far. He tries to hold back a smirk, but he's also kind of grumpy about how amused he is at the same time.
Okay. I don't have any art for this, so this will all be theater of the mind.
Mhm.
The bridge to the chapel gleams like a path carved from moonlight itself. White marble arcs over crystal clear waters, so still that they seem unwilling to disturb the sky reflected within them. The constellations blaze overhead, and beneath, twin heavens suspended above and below, their light fractured only by the slow drift of current. Perfectly trimmed topiary stands in silent formation along the span, as a ribbon of living green softening the marble's brilliance, leaves silvered by the night. The air is cool and immaculate, touched by jasmine and river mist, as though the world has paused in reverence. At the far end of the bridge, the chapel rises in pale stone and quiet authority. A good visual here, maybe just this visual that you're all looking at here of the Griffin's Hold. You can almost imagine this, but instead of going towards this large central palace, we're heading out from it towards one of the surrounding areas. But it's nighttime. At the far end of the bridge, the chapel rises in pale stone and quiet authority, and before its threshold stands Emmeline. Handout. We have met Emmeline before. She is turned towards the sky, cloaked in flowing white that gathers moonlight and returns it brighter. The fabric falls in effortless grace, hood drawn gently over silver hair braided thick and luminous down her side. She does not merely stand, she centers this space. The night seems arranged around her. The water seems to hold still, the wind soften. Even the stars feel nearer in her presence. Her hands are lifted in air, posture composed yet powerful. The bearing of one who has been entrusted not just with faith, but with leadership. She is young, yet the serenity around her carries weight beyond years. This is not devotion born of innocence, it is conviction, forged in certainty. The chosen head of a sacred order, and the role rests upon her not as a burden, but as a mantle. Her voice carries clear across the water, gentle but unwavering. Guide him through the trial ahead. Let his strength serve mercy, and his name serve peace. May the people of Evero, and all beyond its borders, be steadied by his ascendance. Atomos, shape him towards wisdom. Shape him towards the light. And then slowly, she lowers her hands, aware of your presence before she ever turns. Are we getting an art update? I just saw the art disappear.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I was sorry. I corrected a part of her name. That's all. I didn't know it disappeared for anyone. Else I wouldn't
Oh.
have done it.
You good?
Is it unusual to see Emmeline here? at Gryffindor?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know that Emmeline, well, first off, she is a bit estranged from most of the family, at least in an official capacity. While the family, everyone in the family, the immediate family and the extended family, loves Emmeline dearly, she is notably both a high priestess within the cult of unity who worship Atomos, but she is also the leader of a rebellious sect within the cult of unity. She is the leader of a group known as the Heralds of Reversion, who call for the rising of power of the common folk, for the elites to step down and hand power to the regular people. And so she cannot be seen publicly in a place such as this. Not normally.
I would take it we're in a part of our home where it is inaccessible to the public at large, right? This is like a part of the private estate of the family.
This would be maybe open during the day, but as it is nighttime, yeah, it's basically, and I say open, like think of it as like a palace grounds, like
Right, the staff. There are members of the common folk on the staff who would then go and spread word to other common folk, gossip, and gotcha.
It is, however, there's a notable absence of anyone else around. It seems as though this was arranged, this meeting. You feel confident that there's nobody watching you.
Odin will stop short as he's walking down the path over the bridge as soon as he realizes who's there. And his face is not indifferent, but neutral. Like you said, he's well disciplined, and when he needs to, or when he feels like he needs to, he can kind of shut down any expression of joy or grief and play the part, so to speak. He'll look around just to doubly check to make sure that no one is around for this private meeting aside from Peter. He will look for whoever the second person is that Hammond spoke of.
You can see there's a light coming from the chapel behind her. The door is like slightly ajar, and she like sort of turns and looks at you. There's like the faintest curve of a knowing smile as she realizes exactly what you're thinking, exactly what you're worried about. And she sort of chuckles and says, Odin, you always carry more than you admit. Even now. And she turns and faces towards you, studying you for a long moment.
Sit still.
She steps towards you, smiling. She
He'll
takes
meet her.
her hood. She takes her hood off.
He'll meet her halfway and hug her.
She'll reach out and hug you tight. This is nice. It has been too long.
Just keep silent.
She steps back, puts her hands on your shoulder, and places herself at arm's length.
I'll actually turn. I'll move past and try and turn her to offer my elbow to let her link her arm in it
Okay.
and start slowly meandering towards the chapel.
Okay.
I'll keep my silence, presuming she's going to speak about why she's here. Very much listening.
She just carries the conversation then. Are you nervous? You always get
No.
quiet when you're carrying too much.
About what is to come, no. But there's an intuition, feeling. I had another episode earlier today.
He pauses and she listens and lingers on every word. There's a knowing, sort of look in her eyes. Out of character, is this something that you would have shared perhaps only with her?
Odin thinks he's shared it with her only, or at least he thinks he's under the impression she's the only one who knows. I can think of one other person who probably does already know.
Perhaps. I know who you're thinking of.
His boyfriend.
No, not his boyfriend.
Another family member.
Ouch.
Another family member.
His boyfriend.
Oh
Two
dear.
royal bloodlines.
That's a little too, that's a little
Odin-
too French, man. I don't know.
Odin thinks Emmeline is the only person. Well, Odin knows she's the only person he's spoken with about it. He might have doubts whether or not she is the only person who knows about it. You know what I mean?
Mm. Well, Emmeline is Odin's twin sister. They share a deep bond, deeper than anyone else within the family, perhaps. And she looks worried, but she places a hand upon your shoulder, Odin, and says, I'm afraid this is not a horizon you can bargain with. This is something you will have to face. The only thing I can say is that you will not face it alone. I am here for you, and if it should be too much, I will be here to treat your wounds.
He wears a sad smile, nodding to her.
You don't have to be fearless, Odin. You only have to be steady. You're never meant to carry all of this alone.
I'll turn back towards the chapel and keep walking with her, and I'll just say, oh, I have the steadiest aim in all of Cottenham. Nay, all of Evreux, perhaps.
Well, it's I'm afraid it aged me quickly. The cult and taking leadership at such a young age. But
How's
it is
it going? By the way, I know people around here are cagey about speaking about it with you when you do visit, but I am curious to know.
She nods. The aura of leadership hangs around her as a mantle that she wears almost without effort. It feels natural to her. Her voice carries the cadence of someone accustomed to being heard. The order grows faster than the council would like. faith always does when people are desperate. They come because they remember something is missing. They feel it in their bones. We teach them that history was not always this distant from the divine. That there was a time when the saints walked openly, when miracles were not debated but witnessed. And we remind them that waiting for salvation is not the same as seeking it. And in those final words, you sense a palpable danger, a defiance, as if her words are pointed towards the very world itself, calling upon it to dare her not to change fate.
Have you been safe? Well protected, taken care of?
She nods. I have a personal retinue of my own outside of the Cartano house. She sort of waves her hand, and like a nearby topiary turns into a person. And they sort of are covered all in black with a black mask over their face, and they hold up 2 fingers to their lips as if to say shh before they transform back into a topiary.
I think Odin would frown at that. He would let that slip as a slight disapproval, but he doesn't speak on it beyond that.
I have to have people close at hand at all times, I'm afraid.
You have your family all around you right now. You have father and mother and the Griffin Riders. This place is the safest place you can be.
She smiles, and she turns and she'll hug you again. Well, Odin, I know that I'm always safe with you. And she smiles.
And these heralds that you lead, what do they think of your history? Your
Well,
lineage?
it is, hold on. I had a note for this. Here it is. The irony of this moment sort of hangs in the air. Here stands the daughter of the Duke of Cartano, a world-renowned artificer, and the Duchess herself, the admiral of one of the world's leading navies, standing before her twin brother on the eve of his ascendance as the heir to the second most important seat of the most important aristocracy of the continent. And yet she says, "The heralds do not call for chaos. We call for memory. If the world has drifted from the sacred, then we must move it back. And if those in power will not listen to the people, then the people must stand where they cannot be ignored." And again, her words sort of speak to her defiance. Her words strike true. All the more because of her background, because she knows what the people must rise up to match.
Just be careful, Emmeline. Do not forge the people into a weapon.
She shakes her head. No, I do not wish to lead to violence. And worry not, she places her hand on your shoulder. I will always stand with the people, but you, Odin, You are not the throne, you are my brother. If the world fractures, I will mend it, and if you fracture, I will mend you. We do have one another, and that will never change.
He nods and continues walking. He'll let that subject lie there. And after a brief pause, he'll look towards the chapel and he'll say, Hammond said you did not come alone?
She nods. Yes, you have another visitor waiting inside. I'm sure you'll be pleased to see him as much as he is you. She lingers for a moment, as if for the first moment here having some small doubt. And then she looks to you. I'm afraid I will not be present for your ceremony. But I will be present in Luxor, should you wish to seek me out. I intend to steal away into the night after I've paid a visit to Mother and Father. It would be improper for the leader of the heralds to be seen in daylight of the estate, after all. She sort of chuckles and smiles at you.
He keeps wearing that sort of sad smile of his own, but he nods in understanding.
And she'll turn and she'll wave towards you one last time before she is joined by two topiaries as they turn into some kind of personal shadow guard, and they lead her towards the estate.
Odin just sighs, watching them walk away for a second before he turns towards the chapel and continues on his way.
Okay. The chapel stands in utter stillness. Moonlight spills through its towering windows and pale columns, illuminating dust motes that drift like suspended prayers. The stone walls rise high and austere, etched with quiet symbols that seem older than language. The air carries the faint scent of incense long burned out, lingering as memory rather than smoke. Every surface, marble floor, carved arch, polished altar, reflects the night with a subdued glow, as though the structure itself were made to hold the heavens gently within it. One moment here. Sorry. Okay.
My bad. I didn't mean to just put that in chat.
Prestidigitation. Let's go. At the very front, within a circle of etched sigils and silver inlay, a single hooded figure kneels. He is small against the architecture. The vaulted ceiling dwarfs him. The light descending from above frames him, but does not glorify him. Instead, it makes his humanity more apparent. His shoulders rise and fall slowly with each breath. His hands are clasped, knuckles pale. The stillness around him is immense, cathedral heavy, the kind of quiet that presses against the lungs. It feels like a scene stitched into tapestry, threaded in silver and blue, weighty with devotion and sorrow. The moment carries gravity beyond sound, as if something is being laid down, or forgiven, or surrendered. The man at the center seems almost to thin beneath it, as though the weight of faith and memory might dissolve him entirely. Yet he does not break. There is something raw here, something like catharsis, not dramatic, not loud, just the quiet release of a burden no one else can see. After a long moment, the figure exhales. Slowly he rises. The hood falls back just enough to reveal his face as he turns, and the atmosphere shifts. The vastness does not disappear, but it softens. What fills the space now is not awe, but warmth. The kind of presence that steadies rather than overwhelms. There is immense comfort in him, an undercurrent of care that feels deliberate and deeply rooted. The chapel no longer feels crushingly grand, it feels held. Axel, as you turn and face the doorway, describe your character.
Turning around to face you in the silence of this place is an elderly man. Not towards the end of his life, but certainly beyond perhaps even the middle of it. Somewhere seeming to be in his late 50s, early 60s. He rises with a very practiced motion. You see that he has sort of loosely kept gray hair that kind of flows down around his ears towards the back of his head. He has a large, full beard with streaks of silver and gray throughout. But more than anything is the details of his face lay a sense of wisdom and memory that goes far beyond the years evident by his age. There are smile, wrinkles, crow's feet at the corners of his eyes, and he seems ultimately at peace. Even as his eyes rise to meet yours, and a look of recognition and a smile spread across his face, it is as if a small ripple of happiness in a consistent, flat pond of tranquility. It is very good to see you, Odin. You look well.
If Odin was surprised to see his sister here, he's shocked to see Axel here. It was almost like he was holding his breath from the moment Hammond told him there were people here to see him. And this wouldn't be the first time he cries today.
As
But
your
he composes himself, or at least he tries to, and turn away to at least not wipe his tears away, facing Axel directly at him.
It's important.
Grim,
maybe
are
to
there
stage-
pews? Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
No. Yeah, there are pews. Finish your question.
That was it. I think knowing like that there are strong emotions, I think he just gestures for you to come forward. Please come sit with me, Odin. And he would sit at one of the front pews in the chapel.
It takes a second for him to compose himself. It's been a hard day. Or at least that is the inference that you would get, I think. Because Odin is not generally, he doesn't wear his emotions outwardly if he can help it. So for him to so easily kind of break, small break, but break regardless, at least gives you some insight into the sort of day he's had. Eventually he will carefully, cautiously walk up and take a seat next to Axel on one of the pews.
How tall is Odin? What is Odin's stature like?
Oh, he's very slim, so I feel like sometimes he seems taller than he really is. And he also dresses in a manner that kind of extends his height, or at least seems to extend his height. But I'd say he's either of average height or just below average height. Anywhere from like 5'11", 6 feet.
I think that when you sit down next to me, I think you can. It's very easy to tell. I mean, I'm only, a couple few inches taller than you, maybe. I'm not a very imposing figure, but the closer that even as you step towards me, I think you feel this like well of kind of energy. It almost like draws you in a little bit as you come closer. I think as you sit down, it's not like I'm like putting my arm around you to comfort you, but you almost just feel like enveloped by the peace that kind of flows around Axel. And I'll touch you on the shoulder, just a seemingly small gesture. And I think it doesn't solve any of your problems, obviously, but I think you feel some of the stress just kind of ebb for a moment. Not fully gone, it's still there, you still have it in the back of your mind, but it just takes the edge off a little bit, I guess.
Odin's eyes are faced forward. They're glassy, but he's not actively crying anymore. He sort of reined it back in, but he's facing forward towards the altar at the head of the chapel, which, Graham, I believe, if things are still 1-to-1, would be altar to Iter? I'm not sure how to pronounce
Iter
it.
is the family's god. Yeah, that's right.
I think that would be the main, like the largest altar in this chapel. And
That would certainly make sense.
Iter is, if I'm not mistaken. Well, do you want me to go, or are you going to go into it? I would say in this
Iter is the
chapel.
goddess of the journey.
Yeah, in this chapel, I would say there is the largest shrine is to Iter, and then there might be one or two smaller shrines, one to Lux, given that is the nation's sort of probably most widely worshipped god, and then
God
maybe
of light.
a couple of others. But yes, the tallest, most grand shrine in here is to the goddess of the journey, and Odin's just staring at it.
Noticing your stare, I think Axel would wave a brief hand, and just to bring a little bit more warmth into the chapel, I think I would use prestidigitation to just light a number of the small candles and things lying around on the large altar and some of the braziers around the actual chapel, just to bring a little more light to the darkness.
I think the radiant sort of energy welling up in this place sort of seems to well a little bit with that gesture. Axel, please take a point of inspiration. Or...
You've been very busy, Odin. It's a big day coming. You feel ready?
Yes. I think this is it seems to me that with each passing day, all of this, and he just sort of gestures to himself and to the subject that Axel's brought up, it grows smaller and smaller.
think at what you're saying, I think, you know, even on a low insight check roll, you'd be able to see just like it's a simple sentence, but I think you like see that sentence like hit him like pretty heavy, just like really like he really ponders it for a moment, looking up at the statue of Eater. That's that is the beauty of the journey. Then the farther you travel, the smaller past is in the distance. But I am proud of you. You've grown since the last time I saw you.
Owen smiled.
Is everyone well, Duke?
Father and mother are much as they are. Celeste keeps busy in the city, and Emmeline is Emmeline.
Yes.
Have you spoken with Ava? I'm sure she would be very happy to see you as well.
Not yet. No, I haven't.
Will you
Perhaps
be
I
in
will.
Griffin's Holes for long?
I intend to wait here for time. At the very least until your ceremony. How is Sophia? She well?
She is. I spoke with her earlier today. She was in the garden, taking her leisure.
To hear that. I am glad to hear that. How are you though, Odin? How are you really? Are you doing okay?
Something troubles me. But I don't know if I can put it into words. I do not know if it is me or something larger. Do you ever feel like... He looks away. Do you ever feel like the world is a wheel and it just turns round and round, and we keep making the same mistakes over and over again?
Axel, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Yep.
That hurts.
Yeah. I feel that more deeply and more often than you know, Odin. But it is not something that should take away from your life or your choices. I think Axel feels a little hypocritical even saying this, but it is a rare and beautiful thing to continue in spite of that feeling, that knowledge. Some people call it insanity, and I think that's a cynical mindset to have. I think it is strength. I think it is the belief, kind of just gestures at the chapel around. It is the belief that things can change and become better with time. I think you are strong in that way. Taps your shoulder again. I think that honestly, actually, can I? Is it okay if I ask for Odin to give an insight check real quick?
I think that's fair. I think we've set a precedent for doing that before, so
Yeah.
it would be like an insight versus either a persuasion or a he got natural fumbled, so it doesn't even matter. Unless you fumbled.
Well, who knows? Who knows? Hold on. I'm trying to think of what this would be, because I'm not trying to deceive. It's just kind of my general.
Yeah, it wouldn't be deception. Probably just persuasion is probably, or charisma.
Or, well, I do have a +7 to this, so I don't know how this is gonna go, but yeah, never mind. think, I think Axel just makes very direct eye contact with you, like will even like move into your eye line so he can make eye contact with you. I believe that because of you and who you are, I believe that things can get better. I think he leans back again. I'm going to stay in Griffin's Hold for some time. Don't know how long. I did not wish to miss your ceremony. And I wanted to speak to your sister and check up on things here. Which reminds me, hold on. And you see, I described Axel's like visage, like his face and, you know, his like form, but he wears the clothes of a traveler. I mean, he is wearing old but well-maintained, you know, windswept leathers that protect from the cold as well as the burning sun, as well as wind and sand. His skin is almost like tanned in a way that belays constant movement and journeying in the elements. And next to him, leaned up against one of the pews, is a ornate walking stick with, you know, a strange curvature to this vine that wraps around the top of the stick to form this spiral pattern. And it is well worn also, but obviously well made and well maintained. And he has a traveler's pack next to him with a bedroll and some basic supplies curled around it. And he reaches into the pack and he pulls out a just a simple iron disc. But you can see that it functions sort of like as almost as a toy would, as like a top, but you can see that it has the Great Wheel inscribed on it, which is just it's a representation of, you know, the pantheon, that is, you know, a visual representation maybe more commonly seen out east. And he passes it to you. Just a small trinket that I picked up in my journeys. Thought you would find it, if not interesting, well, at least fun to look at. I don't know.
I'll take it. Inspect it.
Yeah, so you're probably most used to the Divine Crescent as like sort of the main sort of religious iconography that you've seen. But this sort of divine wheel pictures the Divine Crescent on one side, with Atomos sort of in the center, and then along the edges you see the religions of, or the other faiths pictured all as one image, sort of all one whole. You see the Caldoran, the Forged Lords, those who ascend to godhood by performing great deeds in life. And you see the various elder spirits and the great lives of those who have become spiritual guides and gods of the Mirandali elves and their faith of spiritualism. It's a relatively rare sight. You've probably never seen anything like this outside of the history books.
How did you come by this?
Odin, you know I travel everywhere. I I listen, and he leans in almost like conspiratorially with like a kind of a smirk on his face. Maybe keep that to yourself. I it cannot be seen meeting with the Reverend Mother of a small church and in the same day passing off a obscure religious depiction to the son of the Duke. I just thought you would appreciate the craftsmanship put into it. It's simply a way to show equality amongst people. And it's something I greatly believe in. And as someone who rises in stature and power every day, I think it is a valuable thing to understand. I got it in the Far East somewhere. Well, you don't need to worry about where I got it exactly. It's just a trinket after all.
You've shown this to Emily?
You and Emmeline are very close and are very similar in many ways, but you are your own people, and so we discuss different things. With Emmeline, I think her heart follows the light of one path. I don't know.
I'll look back
I
down
see.
at the thing in his hands while Axel talks.
With you, I see balance. A balance hard fought for. I just think that it's not wrong to appreciate the good that balance can bring. That's all I'm saying. And I think he will kind of like gesture to like see what he just gave you. And if you would you hand it back to him for just a second?
Yeah, if he's gesturing for it. Yeah. Like
Just
gesturing
for a
to
moment.
hold it, yeah, I'll hand it back.
Yeah, just for a second. And on the altar that's only a couple steps in front of us, he stands up and you see he just spins it on top of that stone altar, and even without much force, it becomes very evident that this thing is, even though it's simply designed and engraved very beautifully, it also is extremely precisely crafted because it just spins for 30 seconds, a minute and a half, and just keeps spinning. You are balancing a lot right now, Odin. I understand that. So maybe this thing is a reflection of you as well. And he just kind of stares at it for a moment.
Axel,
Yes.
as you stand and sort of turn to face Odin, you maybe notice, not for the first time, but really the first time it really consciously enters your mind, you see a figure standing nearby one of the aisles, a tall, motionless, and utterly silent. The metallic sheen of his frame catches the moonlight in faint cerulean and gold, and two steady orbs of light burn from his featureless faceplate as he stares at you. He's been watching you the entire time. And this is a figure you've never seen before. What do you make of this figure?
I think, Well, so first question, do I recognize the craftsmanship of his external features? Is like, have I seen anything like
Give-
him before?
Give me a history check.
Oh, God. Oh, this is gonna be rough. Hold on, I gotta take advantage off. Just not bad. Okay. Ooh, okay, that was a good roll actually.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not good enough.
Fair enough.
No, this is of obscure and distant, almost alien craftsmanship.
And I didn't
Well-
notice him here until I had gotten up and turned around.
I mean, you
Yeah.
might have noticed that Odin brought a guard with him.
Okay. That's I don't think I would have said anything different or anything. That's fine.
Felix, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, the face he doesn't recognize, but like the rest of the plating, it's a Veruvian.
Okay, gotcha.
You would also
Like,
probably see. You would see that he's garbed in House Cartino colors as well.
It's close to what the usual guards wear, but like a little more intricate, because he's a warforged or whatever you want to call it. It's integrated on him. But yeah, I didn't follow you in the chapel. I just entered the building, but I stayed close to the door.
I see you brought a fascinating new friend.
Looks over his shoulder. Yes, you would not. You would not be familiar. This is Peter.
Peter, you've been staring at this Axel the whole time, and with good reason.
Mhm.
His soul is difficult to describe. The only way you can think to describe of it is wrong. There is something deeply troubled, deeply damaged in this man.
Like something's-
Where it's like a flickering star, a dying sun. It's like there's almost nothing there, yet what is there feels immensely powerful.
Mhm.
It feels like this man's soul has been through everything.
Yeah, the image that I have in my mind is like right before the Big Bang, where everything collected in the center. And before it explodes, it just stays there vibrating, something like that.
Yeah,
The
I
color
think
of
that's accurate.
yeah, like before the explosion. Yeah, it's like I can see the color of his soul, which is teal. Like a small, like every time I see colors, it's around the face. Because the soul is stored in the mind, so that's where he sees the color. Or at least that's where it's mostly utilized. And I see like a small teal orb vibrating almost. But yeah, I can see the power. Not only the power that would happen if it explodes, but the power to hold it in place.
All right. So that's what you observe of each other.
Mm-hmm.
You now respond to each other.
Pizza is a construct that was discovered not long ago and brought before my father. We are not quite certain what or where he came from.
And yet he serves as what, a servant or
A guard. He is, as far as we can tell, sentient enough, but You would be better served speaking with my father about it. I am assured that he is not a danger to myself or anyone on the estate.
I'm sorry to press further, but I am extremely curious. How long ago was he, and you say discovered?
I
I
think
have.
the discussion was a couple of weeks, but I mean, it's up to you, really.
He was.
Or you can
more or
place
less-
the.
He was more or less entrusted into my care a couple of weeks ago, but I do not know if my father had him in private for longer. Again, you would be better served speaking with the Duke.
I
about
see.
the details of Peter. He has told
Can
me just
I-
enough, but it is like my father to even keep secrets from me with regard to some things. At least not spread misinformation, I suppose.
Well, the Duke is no fool, so I will trust his judgment. It's always interesting to see things that I have not seen before. I will be curious to know if he remembers any of his past in time to come. Anyway,
Well, that makes two of us, I suppose.
yes. Always good to be curious. I don't mean to steal you away for too long, Odin. I'm sure you have things you need to attend to. But I will be around if you wish to seek me out.
It is no trouble at all, Uncle.
I think he smiles widely at you referring to him that way. I think he will actually lean in for a quick side hug. Not full hug, just a quick,
It's
little
easy enough. Odin weighs like 109 pounds soaking wet, so it's like I'm barely even there.
I think just once again, just kind of even in that brief moment of contact, I think you just again feel that kind of wash of peace and tranquility through your body. And he will, just hold you there for a second, and then I think he'll stand to go after. Unless you have anything else that you wanted to say, I think he's going to prepare to exit in a moment.
As soon as you let him go, he's going to turn back to see if the top is still spinning. Not the top, but the trinket is still spinning on the altar.
It is. It remains.
He's going to stand there. Even as you start to leave, he's going to stand there and keep watching it. See how long it takes.
I'm going to go find a place to, shack up, I suppose. I don't think your mother would be very appreciative if I camped on their garden again, so I'm going to see if I can find some more official lodgings.
Speak with Hammond. I'm sure he will be able to assist you.
Of course. Thank you. Young master.
He kind of chuckles for a moment and keeps moving towards the
Odin
exit.
scoffs and rolls his eyes. Even as he's looking at the top, he's still looking at the top. He just rolls his eyes.
I think on the way out, before fully exiting, I think Axel will stop briefly, next to Peter. It was very interesting to meet you, Peter. Perhaps, if there is time in the coming days, we could have some conversation. I'm curious to know more about you.
It would be my pleasure, Mr. Axel.
Axel is fine. Have a good evening.
And I do a small nod and I exit as well. follow behind Odin.
I am going to seek out Hammond, I suppose, to get it figured out.
Yep, you get your lodging sorted out. The chapel falls quiet after your final words. Moonlight lingers for a breath longer and then thins. The silence settles. Whatever words were spoken, whatever was released within these stone walls, remains there like incense pressed into old marble. And then, morning. And we will take our mid session there. That was a really fucking good scene. Good job, guys.
Cried twice
Good.
already, by the way.
IRL?
Yes, in real life. Each time I said Odin was crying, it was because I was crying.
I
Cried
have
inside.
carefully crafted this section of the story. You will be center stage for a lot of this. This is largely Odin and Peter's story for the next level or two.
Translation: You'll get to cry plenty.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll come back at 35. So about 2 minutes.
Yes, sir.
back. I returned with beef jerky and mixed nuts.
He's speaking the language of the gods.
Indeed. Nom, nom. For our participant listeners, sorry, we'll be meeting the party up probably next session. But we have to get everybody's intros and get everybody to meet back up again. It'll be interesting to see what you guys do when you do meet up. I guess we'll decide how that's going to go here in a little bit.
I'll be over here.
We're about to turn our attention to you. Don't worry.
Where the bug at? That's what I'm saying. Where the bug at?
Where the bug? Where the bug? Where the bug at?
That bug at? Are you bugging?
Chittering and
Bugging.
chattering. I love when I set up like some dynamic role play between the players and they just like top tier. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious what y'all are thinking of. Well, Felix isn't here at the moment, but what y'all are thinking of Peter's vibes?
Like,
Peter's
what does my
fucking
character
badass.
think?
Like,
Both out of character, in character. I mean, maybe keep your in character thoughts out of
Yeah.
yourself. But
Out of character, I think Peter's dope as fuck. As the art is killer. Cause it's also like it's super out of left field for this world also because I mean we've not even had a discussion of like sentient machine or anything like that because kind of says like it's very next level. I'm getting
It-
huge Alita Battle Angel vibes.
I'm getting like he is a leftover relic of like a previous more advanced civilization vibe.
Yeah.
Like uncovered ancient technology that'll kickstart we thought we were in the middle of like an artificer's revolution or
Yeah.
industrial revolution, you know. Nope. Well, now
Someone-
like buckle up.
We were like, oh
Yeah.
shit, we have guns, and then someone dug up OpenAI.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Okay, so here's my question: how much water does Peter have to consume in order to function?
What? Water?
Yeah, how much water do you use to cool your CPU in order to function, Peter? How bad are you for the environment?
I'm green. I'm green.
Green? Oh, nice. That's what the blue is. It's actually solar cells. You actually are completely run off of solar.
He does have his own unique way of sustaining himself.
Interesting. He feeds off of young Duke's children.
And also, the way I spelled my name is because of the veins that run across his face and has like the similar color palette of Petersite, like a gem. Yeah.
Is that the kind that glows at the sunrise or sunset or something?
Here, I post some in art. That's Peter's site.
Yep.
Yo, that's dope. I won't lie, when I look at your name, I see Pie Eater, and but it's like pi. It's pi like the numerical symbol. So
Mhm.
it's you I
Eat
don't know.
numbers. I mean, he's a
The math
robot.
eater.
Yeah, the number consumer.
Checks out.
That does
Okay.
check
I'm eating
out.
the binary.
I'm gonna take a drink of water. Eating nuts dries my mouth. I shouldn't. That
Yep.
phrasing.
That's good phrasing. Yeah.
That's
Don't die yet, please.
Yeah. Let me just take another drink of water. My mouth was more dry than I thought.
From all the nuts.
Yep.
threw it in like right at the end there as I was talking to Odin, but I think I've established canonically that at some point in the past I came to the Griffin's Hold and then camped out on like their like garden or front lawn. Was just like,
Yeah.
no, I don't need a room. I'll be fine out here. And incurred the wrath of the groundskeeper.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. I
maybe
love that idea.
one of the guards maybe it teach you how to become a topiary.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ancient knowledge passed down by the guards of the
Also, can we
church
just
of the
talk
Deep.
about how at any point now Odin's going to be looking at the shrubbery, wondering if there are spies on the estate?
Dude, it's like Gmod, it's prop hunt. We're like it's just like there's a bush just moving across the landscape. Oh, don't worry about that. That's one of Emmeline's guards.
Yep. I mean,
Just lean out your window into like an open like terraced hedge area and just go, "Good night, everyone." You just hear, "Good night, good night, good night."
it's the Herald's Reversion, right? It could be worse.
Yeah.
All right. Turn the volume down a little bit. This is a loud song. Dawn does not creep into Luxor. It claims it. From a bird's height, excuse me, above the Lasaran Sea. Man, these nuts. They're nuts. Okay. I got a couple handouts here. From a bird's height above the Lasaran Sea, the capital of Everu rises like a monument carved from the light itself. The coastal cliffs stretch wide and sheer, their white faces catching the first rays of the sun, as if the land were gilded from beneath. The sea below reflects the city in fractured brilliance, turning the water into a second sky of molten gold. And there's the first image.
Nice.
Have more. Luxor sprawls upward and outward in magnificent tiers. The lower city spreads across terraces carved into the cliffs, broad avenues of white and gold stone, elegant chateaus crowned with slate blue domes, open plazas already filling them with merchants and citizens. Sunlight strikes polished marble and pale sandstone, reflecting in cascading brilliance so intense it feels intentional, as though the city were designed to amplify the dawn itself. Higher up, the upper city commands the skyline. Palaces and government halls stand in disciplined symmetry, their columns rising like spears towards the heavens. Bridges arch between elevated districts, and aqueducts thread the skyline with elegant precision. At the heart of the splendors stands the Palais Lux Veritatis, the Palace of the Light of Truth. Its vast dome dominating the horizon. The structure gleams in ivory and gold, banners of deep royal blue falling from the high walls. It's not merely a residence, it is legacy of stone. Beyond it, overlooking both city and sea, stands La Balise, the beacon. The parliamentary hall rises as a monument, a monumental octagonal structure crowned with glass and steel, its dome reflecting the sky in a fractured light. It stands apart but central, a symbol of governance forged from noble will and public trust. Within its walls, the wealthiest and most powerful families shape the fate of Everett. And then there is the Temple of the Golden Hour. Largest of all of the sacred edifices, it dominates a vast ceremonial plaza. Its spires piercing the sky like rays frozen in a scent. The temple does not merely reflect the sun, it seems to generate its own light. Gold filigree and luminous stone catch the dawn and ignite, casting a radiant glow across the entire district. The great doors are already open. Pilgrims gather like flowing river of white and crimson cloth, drawn to the promise of illumination. Massive ziggurats and lesser temples dot the city below, or beyond, each a testament to faith and heritage. Statues of saints and heroes line the grand avenues. Gardens crown fortified walls. The city gates, towering and ornate, stand open as processions begin to enter. The upper city gleams in authority. The lower city hums in prosperity. The sea roars in approval. And today, beneath the brilliance of Lux and the watchful gaze of Parliament and people alike, the city prepares to witness an ascendance. The seven swell parts the clouds like a sovereign, returning to her throne. For hours, the sky ship has sailed through a sea of white vapor, the world below hidden and the heavens close enough to touch. Then slowly, the cloud bank thins. Sunlight pierces through in molten shafts of gold. Wind catches the crimson sails, and the vessel tilts gently, descending with regal deliberation. As she emerges into open sky, below and ahead, you see Luxor. The seven swell flies alongside gulls and white seabirds riding the same currents, her passage silent but commanding. The sea glitters far below, and the morning air carries that crystalline stillness found only at the threshold of something momentous. She is unmatched, her teak decks polished to a mirror sheen, brass fittings gleaming, winged sail arrays flexing with engineered precision. Every line of her hull is deliberate, elegant, engineered to whisper rather than roar. The low harmonic hum of her propulsion crystals is steady and assured, a heartbeat of artifice, refined beyond compare. On the middeck, beneath open sky and gilded light, a round rosewood table sits at the center of it all. Engraved with a compass of golden filigree, surrounded by white velvet-backed chairs fit for nobility. Crystal decanters shimmer, silver lights sway gently as the ship sways with the wind. The crew have respectfully withdrawn, leaving the space to its intended occupants. Oral, Malakar, Tariq. The three of you find yourselves gathered behind this round table. The air between the three of you carries history not fully remembered and futures not yet chosen. Malakar, you have just finished recounting your journey to the Crystal Spire, where all your paths converged. You know what the others carry. Oral lives with fractured remnants of another life, glimpses that surface in dreams but refuse to settle into waking certainty. Tariq carries Nura within them, two souls braided uneasily in one body, memory and instinct intertwined. And now here you are, approaching Luxor because of an invitation that arrived in Oral's name. An invitation to Odin's ascension. A fellow artificer, a connection to the Duke. A thread that feels deliberate, as if planted by a knowing will. Malakar. As the seven swell descends toward the light of Lux, what do you say to your friends from another life?
It would appear we have arrived. It has been quite some time. He looks to you, Oral. Or, Axel. Ugh, hang on.
No, Oral. It's Oral.
Oral, and he'll say, I am happy that we are all together again. It has felt incomplete until now, though there is still a space that seems to need to be filled.
Indeed. I can't remember everything. Hopefully, things will settle in more as time goes by. It's a good start knowing that I've actually found people who I wasn't sure had actually existed or not.
We were very real. And we still are. And we still have a job to do.
Yeah, Oral. All of this is still settling in. I mean, what Malakar speaks of, and Malakar has filled in maybe some of the details of your past lives. This is not the kind of adventure maybe that Oral set off on. He wasn't expecting the revelations that Malakar has told him of. I mean, how is Oral holding up, given... and again, how much has Malakar told Oral?
The only thing that Malakar didn't tell Oral is probably that he turned him into a vampire, and that's how he ended up like this. He probably feels a great deal of shame about that still, even though that was a lifetime ago. But otherwise, he's pretty well filled both of them in on everything that has happened.
Oral is likely just sitting in his chair with his hand resting on his forehead, trying to think things over as he responds. His eyes are closed, just contemplating. He definitely looks perturbed by everything he knows now, but he does feel as though the things that he expected, the things that he'd been building for, were not done in vain. He does feel that there's at least some reasoning behind the madness now. So he finds some degree of sense in himself.
What about Tariq?
What specifically about Tariq?
What is Tariq thinking in all of this? Again, you have more memory or more control over your memory than Oral, but it's more fleeting than, say, Malachar. And maybe it's worth introducing and discussing the mechanics of Malachar, how your memory works.
I mean, he being an elf, he got most of his, and he would have shared this with you guys. He got a lot of his old life, like, presented to him in the form of dreams as he was aging from youth to adult. And over the years, he realized that something's very abnormal about the way that he recalls things in comparison to how others in the elfin community did. And so he sought out pretty much guidance in recalling these things further by going to the monastery. And he spent the majority of his teen into adult years studying how to, like, reconnect with your past lives through, like, a magical connection. And thus the masks were born. And the masks are a way for him to personify his past lives in a way that's meaningful and creates a very deep connection with who he was.
And so the mask that he currently bears, if you look at the details, do you want to describe that mask for us again?
Sure. If I can figure out where the notes for it went. Jeez.
It was on the world map, but...
This is the first I'm hearing of all this. That's a really fucking cool idea, Justin, by the way.
Well, thank you.
Like, that's really cool.
Really cool.
Let's see, it's a lacquered blue, veined with gold, horned and fanged, and a cruel echo of something that once wore his soul like a second skin. So it is a vampiric half-orc that has been carved into like a Oni-looking mask. But that was like the first thing he was told to do, was carve the face that he saw in his past life. And so while all the other elves were carving elven faces, he carved this Oni mask. And so he's just a little different from the others in a lot of ways.
My boy's a little bit special.
Where's the blue?
Have I shared a picture of my character? I think I have.
Yeah. And you can see the one in the game, too. I think you had a couple different ones.
This Odin that we are seeking, we have known him from before. In fact, it seems that not much has changed about him, which is peculiar, considering how much we ourselves have changed.
Well, I suppose you could find that comforting. Or maybe it's not.
Hey, Malachar, give yourself inspiration.
Inspiration?
Yeah. Sorry, Oral, didn't mean to interrupt you.
We should make haste. There are many things we will have to share with this Odin.
It shouldn't be very
I
long
only-
now until we make landfall. From then,
You know,
it's just a matter of time.
I am not used to flying in such a way, but I suppose it is customary.
he looks like towards, I'm assuming we can see, like, through outside at certain places.
Yeah, there's pretty large windows on either side here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll walk to kind of place a hand against the window and look down onto the city as it passes underneath.
I only hope that he will believe us. The more time that we waste trying to convince him.
He looks back to you, Oral, and then to Tark.
The more time we will waste, and the closer we will get to the inevitable, this ruin. We must prevent it at all costs.
We must.
Ruin that is preventable is not inevitable. I suggest we do not think of it as such, if we
This is
wish
our-
to proceed.
This is our first time hearing from Tariq. Tali, would you like to describe how Tariq speaks?
Tariq, as far as you can tell, has no mouth that can form human words, or any kind of words besides clicks and churs. Instead, his mind directly touches yours, a brush of his thoughts and a voice in your mind, somewhat clicking along with his own, with a similar sound that similar to the sounds he makes, and yet there's an echo behind it, as if a female voice also speaks, but so softly that you can barely hear anything but the cadence.
Malakar, give me a history.
Actually, have proficiency in that.
And this might not be... Well,
Give me just a second.
did you want to use your inspiration? Okay. Are you there? Like, are you able to speak? Or you said just a second. It sounded like you were frying something in the background. I'll give you a second. Okay.
Hi, sorry, phone.
Got a phone call. Got it. As he's getting that figured out, we'll come back to that. You can continue, Tariq and Oral, amongst yourselves.
Well, Tariq,
Um,
I'm hoping things aren't too strange for you here. I understand these surroundings are quite different from anything you've known.
Yes. Very different. Different from before, different from now. Very interesting. But the more experiences one gains, the more familiar they are, yes? By the way, unlike Nura in her, as she was, Tariq is almost never still, where Nura seemed to exist drifting and almost listless sometimes, maybe if even statuesque. Tariq is in constant motion, his second pair of arms at least, always fiddling with something. His antenna flicking or him looking, I say him, but yeah, so always looking around, always doing something. He's got a small kit of delicate tools that sometimes they fiddle with, or a wax tablet that they scribble strange runes on, almost as quickly as they wipe them away.
Well, I hate to say it in such a way, I suppose. The ship wasn't exactly designed with you in mind, so hopefully we'll be able to take care of some kind of comfortable living arrangement for you. I'll talk to the crew and see if we can work something out.
I understand. I am, how you say, not very common above ground.
Earl will chuckle a little bit. Well, in the time I've been alive, I don't think I've ever seen anybody quite like you. I've met my fair share of people. At least I like to think.
Yeah, it's pretty notable. You're pretty sure you've never heard of an insectoid race like this before. Like, you can rack your brain, you can give me a history check, but unless you like manage a crit, it's probably not going to matter. whatever Tariq is, you've okay. Well, 27.
Okay.
Not 20. You've heard strange rumors and like maybe like books of fairy tales of the desert about creatures sort of like this, but not quite. And it was like etched into like a single sentence in a larger paragraph about other denizens of the desert. And even then, it's very obscure. Like you've probably read more than most people, and that's the only reason you can recall such obscure information. But you've never heard of a person that's actually met one of Tariq's kind.
It is all
His
very
base
interesting.
Tariq is basically an alien. Justin, are you back? He's typing. No, sorry. Okay. I hope everything's okay. Okay. Let's just take another short break here. Let's come back in, let's say, 10 minutes. And hopefully that's enough time. I hope everything's okay.
Well, see if I can upload these without them messing up.
Let me add those handouts for you guys to edit. Forgot about that. everybody, if you look in the handouts, player characters, you got 2 handouts. One that is already public, if you want to just put your character's art there. And then I've given you each a hidden handout as well. If you want to put anything else, like if you want to reveal something at a later date, you can go ahead and post it there. That way you've already got it there. If you need another one, just let me know.
Hey, I'm gonna have to go. There's some stuff going on my end.
Okay.
Sorry, it really is something that's pretty emergency. It's my mom's eye. Something's going on with it.
That's fine. I understand. We'll end session early then. I don't want to do the next part without at least Malachar here. So,
All right. I hope everything's all right, Justin.
yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck, man. Hope everything turns out okay.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Let us know once you hear something.
Yep, give us an
I
update.
will. I definitely will.
All right. Well, hope everything's okay with his mom, and I hope you all had enjoyed today's session.
Ye-
Maybe in
It
2
was
weeks we can get in a full session.
Okay. Sounds good. I did have a good time. Thanks. I'm glad to be back.
Yes. Is good.
I'm glad
Um,
you're back too, Lade. Oh my god.
I know, it's been so long. Is there updated art for Odin?
Odin is the most unchanged.
But
Where's
he's
the
younger,
handout?
though, right?
If
I'd say he's probably of similar age.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
For some reason, I thought he was younger.
if you
And
go
Grim said he was
to
younger.
I didn't say that.
I thought you did. Maybe I'm making it up.
I might be like, if I am, it's by like 2 years or like a year or two. Something very like,
He would be basically the same age.
yeah.
I just assumed based on the debut then.
Man,
Yeah,
the
I mean-
the music is really going crazy since the world ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music
Yeah.
has been very good, by the way, Grim.
Yeah.
Is this handout meant to remain hidden? I can take the hidden off of that, right? Off that.
No, you got 2 of them. So you got one that's
Oh.
handout for Odin. That one is not currently hidden, and then the other
Okay,
one that says hidden is. Again, that's for like if at some point in the future, like somebody has like what appears to be their form, but they turn out to have a secret. This is what I actually look like for them.
Gotcha.
I don't know that anyone has one of those, but maybe we'll have something like you'll have a need for it in the future for some reason. Maybe, for example, Malachar has like a different look if he puts on a different mask or something. But yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, dang it! I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, because I said Odin is maybe the most changed. I hope you all can
Least
see
changed.
now. Yeah, the least changed. I hope you all can see now why I thought that Peter was the most changed, even more than Tariq.
He is a robot.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, I'm the most changed because I don't shit on Odin anymore.
Yeah, now he protects me.
I
Mhm.
can't call Odin rich anymore, and that's gonna hurt.
Until I get my memories back.
You
We're
absolutely
back.
can call Odin rich, unless you're rich now too. Actually, I guess you are rich if you're Seraphina's husband. What?
Yeah, and I'm a marquis, so I'm a noble. And look at this fucking boat
Yeah.
I'm on, man. I built this shit.
And you got your arm back too.
The
I got
ground up.
everything.
Did you lose the trauma?
No.
Damn! Wow.
Blame Malachar for that. You remind him.
He did, but not for long.
I still went through all of the same events. I just ended the outcomes different, or the outcomes came out differently. So all
got
of that
raised
stuff still
by,
happened,
the
just
Revenant.
wasn't as permanently scarred by it.
Alright. I mean, I don't have any new art for Odin, but I uploaded something that I wasn't using in the last Roll20, so.
See?
That.
You sent that on the art channel only, I think.
Yeah, that was like a long time ago. I shared almost all of the art that I had for Odin on the art channel, to be fair. All of the new stuff you guys are going to see that has anything to do with Odin is all going to be to do with Everu more than it is with me. There's a lot of art that I think I shared a little bit with Lane, but like as far as locations and other
You've seen
NPCs,
just a small smattering of it in this session.
yeah, background NPCs, etc., etc. That's all going to be new for you guys.
Also, Nox, are you able to or willing to write a recap for next session? I feel like if anybody was going to write it, it would have to be Odin.
Yeah, I can do that. I am already in the process of writing an acceptance speech. Can maybe that serve as a recap somehow? And I can just, I mean, do you want to recap in character, or do you just want to over the table? Here's what happened last time on the last episode of.
Oh no, it's like do your in character recap. I my goal with these is to check in with the characters and their mindset. You know.
Would his speech at the ceremony count as that? I know it's at the top of the session, but
I think it's
right now.
I think it would be fine, because like he would write a speech in advance either way. You could just say draft of the speech to be given, and then like that's what he plans on giving as a speech.
Okay, sounds good.
And then I'll prepare like a factual recap. I can just take my notes and put them into ChatGPT and say, "Hey, make a three paragraph recap."
Lane, you know who Axel looks like now?
What does Axel look like?
He looks like Pierce Brosnan. He looks like
Oh,
old guy
no.
Pierce
Yeah,
Brosnan.
Yeah. You know what? That's fair. That's so fair.
I love it.
Oh
I
my
love Pierce
God.
Brosnan. He's a cool guy. He's my favorite Bond.
Oh, I see that. But I was thinking, there's this politics YouTuber. I forget what his name. Peter Zeihan. Looks like Peter.
Only
Zeihan.
you would know him.
He's relatively well known. I mean,
That's X'd out.
You just said politics and you missed it.
look. I'm gonna pay. That's fine. I'm just posting the main channel. See, that's Peter Zeihan. That's what I saw when I saw his face. I'm like, oh damn, that looks like this guy. And he does. It's like a spitting image. I'm looking back at.
No, he reminds me of the guy from the Creep movie.
Anyway, this guy's like a anti-China guy. Yeah. Anyway,
You say as I get ready to go play Where Winds Meet.
yeah, I'm about to go play. What's it
glad
called?
that I'm playing Where Winds Meet in Chinese too, because the English dub is terrible. Honestly, not gonna lie.
I'm about to go play Arc Knight Infield, which is also Chinese made.
I'm about to go play Resident Evil. That's Japanese.
In Chinese?
No, that's Japanese.
I've been selling.
I'll go read my Chinese comics. Okay.
I'll catch you guys later.
Yeah, have a good one.
Bye. Have a good
Bye,
night.
Tally.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop out too. Have a good one. Thanks, Grim.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, boys.